Hey guys, Merry Christmas. I think that's all you're going to get as far as Christmas cheer here. That was, I was pretty, yeah, that was genuine, I think. Hey Tommy, David, good day. I still haven't looked up your book. Um, might do that next. Hi Chirpy, Poppy, Mark Osborne, good day. Scott, good day. Hello Adam. Hey Cam. Hey Stephen. Gosh, I wasn't expecting a crowd tonight. There's not been very much happen here, and I had all sorts of plans for tonight. I had some really cool stuff planned. It hasn't happened, mostly because I've worked a lot of hours this week, and well, that's good because I'm cashed up. It's not so good because I haven't been anywhere where the shop's shut, and by the time I finished last night, everything was shut, and there's nothing open today. So some of the things I had planned aren't going to happen. They might happen next week. It's still the new year. Um, and not only that, I had a good idea and no way, a real idea how to or instigate it or orchestrate it. So that didn't happen. Weather's good, Tommy. It's rained a bit last night. It was really nice, but not a whole lot. We had a pretty decent storm. We had a bit of rain or what looked like it might have been a storm tonight. Didn't happen. But it's really nice. It's cooled it off a bit. I've still got the fan going here because it's still crazy muggy in the workshop. Hey, John. Hello, Raymond. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking I might do, but I've been milling these up and I get nowhere fast with them. These big chunks of silver steel, O1, bought these this last week. There was a length of this 500mm length of 20 by 20 millimeters, which is really nice, and chopped it up. That's all that's left. And a piece of, for all you Australian guys that come from Hales, Hales Industrial Supplies, hales.com.au. That's A1's got all the details on it and the size. This is, gosh, this is 10 by 20. I've got two lengths of that, so making some hold downs. I haven't got food coma. I've just sort of had a pretty relaxing day. I haven't done much. All I've done today that was really productive at all, even a little bit, was put this cart across the front here and these four straps. These I'm going to cut at about a 10-degree taper here and here and then slice them down through here. I'd really like one of those fancy rolling table bandsaws so I could cut this piece out and keep this bit, because it's a fairly serious lump of stock that would be very good for something. However, I haven't got one, so I could do two things. I could chop it out with a hacksaw, which sounds like really hard work, or I could chop it out with a slitting saw, which sounds like even harder work, or I go and borrow a friend's bandsaw and see what happens, or I could just mill it out and throw the rest away as chips. The slitting saw I had, this is a bit thick, this one for the job, but this was handling it pretty well. That's high-speed steel. saw, and that side and face cutter really, and that's cutting through that really nice. I was going to put a bit of undercut in here, cut this on a taper and put a bit of round undercut in here. I think I've got a smaller radius one of these somewhere. Put a bit of undercut in the bottom there so I can polish these and leave the rest black, just for style points. But draw the corner, saw the straight lines. That's probably a pretty good idea, Poppy. That's the best idea you've had all week. Hey Cam, I think I already said that, but g'day. Was it expensive? That length of stock there and that length of stock, 500mm lengths, the two of them, delivered next day nearly from Melbourne, was change out of $200 Australian. So they're fairly expensive hold downs, but nothing too strong ever broke, and they should finish up and they should last pretty well. And I can harden and temper them and then polish one side, etc, 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 and should have some nice hold downs. They've got to look something like this. This isn't exact this is the prototype I've got. I've got about 1,000 that I've made that don't work. This one does. Rather than the stud, it's going to have a long bolt, and we've got a long nut, which is probably going to be bigger diameter here to go through a hole, with a groove for the T-slot. Just to give it, this is probably plenty enough actually. And the spring on here, where we've got a recess. So what I'm going to do for this piece is get a piece of square, 45mm, 50mm square, and set it up on that center, and then machine a boss on the back to hold it. And then I can machine this radius here in the lathe and start thinking about chopping some of this out, and bore this out in the middle and this radius, and then all we've got is the staircase piece there, and we can use a cutter to put these steps in here. Hey Duncan. And hopefully we've got that piece. This piece is pretty much the same, but we're going to make it out of a bit of smaller stock. Make a boss on the back here so that I can machine the inside and the outside here. And then hold it by that and machine this and this. Put the steps in them and then somehow bolt them here and then put the slot in the top, which is where this goes when it's got most of the material chopped out of it. That's a really good idea, Chirpy. Sort of works. This works though. I've got this working. 1,000 itinerations later, this is what I've got. We've got an interlock that actually interlocks, which is pretty good. It fits the front and fits the back, both exactly the same. And the geometry is fairly simple. It's just a matter of knowing the secret. And no matter how many close-up pictures of these you see, the secret's not particularly obvious. If I had a square or a ruler, I'd show you. There's an amazing wooden box here. with some squares in it. Now the secret is to this, and it took a bit of working out, but the secret is that these are square, and they're machined square with a square cutter. So that's all right, but they're kicked over that way. So the back here, if we want upright, is about 5 degrees, something like that. 3 degrees, 5 degrees, something like that. Off square. So instead of being straight like that, they're kicked over that way. So that gives us that sawtooth there that actually works. All the other ones I did were straight here with an undercoat in the back. So that one doesn't work. This one I tried messing around trying to file and make it work too, and I couldn't get that to work. This one sort of works, but this is the right one, and that's how it is. It's got an undercut in here. I don't know if you can see that. I probably should have given it a coat of paint so you can, but it's hollow under the back there because these teeth are all, instead of being square, they're on that angle there like that, and then they're just cut across the middle. So that's the secret to that. Probably didn't give any sort of make any sense at all, but I've got it straight in my head now. And they should be makeable. I've got some 1020 I could make these out of, which is just low carbon mild steel. It's rotten stuff to work, it's hard work, but we seem to be cutting this okay, so maybe we could do them out of that. Yeah, 5, I think this was probably 5 degrees, 3 degrees, something like that. I can't remember, I'd have to have a look at the drawing. But it wants a bit on it really, because once you get this done up tight, it's very easy to push it sideways and they slip, but once you get it bolted, you can't. Whereas the other ones I've made have been a bit slippery. So that's the progress on that. This is going to have a bolt through here in a long nut. I'll cut these out of probably 4140 and harden them. And a bolt, and the prototype ones have a half round nut and a half round washer, so they've got a bit of wobble that way. I'm not sure if that's entirely necessary. Might be really nice to do, but it's a bit of messing around, so we'll have a think about that too. So that's where we're at with it. I don't think aluminium's strong enough. It probably is strong enough, but I'm not going to trust it. And I think that these are going to wear pretty quick. If they're only in soft steel, so, or aluminium, and I don't like that much. So also I'm a bit concerned that this will bend here. I'm not sure it will, but it might. And this one here will bend. I'm not sure if this is entirely necessary. I've made this with a pin across here. I was going to put a hard pin, like a 01 pin or something through here, so that when you put this in here, this bolts down on the back over the top of the staircase, not in the middle here, and then it doesn't pull it in sideways like that. There was some theory behind that, but I'm going to have to try it with and without when I actually get them made. I'm not sure they're entirely necessary. That's just one of those things that in the prototype stage sort of felt like it was needed, but the prototypes didn't fit together properly either. So I would think that 1214 like leaded steel would be the best thing to make them out of, and that'd be easy to machine, and then I can case harden them. That's the theory there. If that doesn't happen, or if I can't get a piece the right size, because I'm struggling to get a piece 50mm square, can't seem to find it anywhere. If it doesn't work, then we might do them in 1020. I can get 4140, but that sounds like hard work. Well, while they'd be very, very nice, I think I'd damage too many cutters to get them done. What's the aversion to leaded steel, Poppy? Interested to know. Yeah, I could case harden the 1020. It's awful stuff. Though. I'm really not a big fan of it. It seems to, there's a lot of hot chips that don't get hot, and it's not pretty stuff to machine. It's a bit boring. I'm not really a huge fan of it, but I do have a piece here that would probably do it. I've got a big lump of square here. Hang on, let's have a look at it. Let's get it out. Yeah, I haven't got a clue what it is. Not even sure what I bought it for. I must have bought it for something. It may have been an anvil, it may have been an offcut from someone. It may have just been in a scrap bin somewhere. I don't think it's cast iron, but it's soft as butter. It's been milled down out of something. Really don't like using stuff that I don't know what it is, but I get them out of there nicely. Wonder what it is. Stephen, not sure that's entirely correct. I believe you can case harden it, but the instruction sheet says it says, and other learned gentlemen I've spoken to said you can, so not sure. I'd have to check that again. Let's find the files. I've got seriously no idea where this come from now. If someone's given me this piece, thanks. Anyone who hasn't got a set of these, get yourself one for Christmas. They're the best. Whatever it is, it's well under 40 RC, so it's soft. I guess the thing is to chop a little bit out and off and polish to clean it up and see if I can case harden it. And if it does, well, we might use it. Greg W, g'day. It could be free machining. It looks like it's got machine marks along here, so it looks like it's probably been used as, it's been cut out of something. But it also sort of looks like it's been used as a handle. Got a lot of bangs and dings in it. Could be cast iron. I guess we know if we put a cut in it, but anyway. Might use that. Might cut. There's not enough for 4 bits on there, I don't think. That's the other thing. 1, 2, there's enough for 3 at a pinch. So you might have to find a bigger piece or a longer piece. Don't know. Who's here? Maddie, g'day. So, coming up to Christmas, I've worked a lot of hours and I really haven't achieved very much. I feel like I haven't achieved much. The company I bought the DRO scales from is out of stock on the sizes I want. I could probably cut them to length without too many hassles, but I haven't invested in the 2 other scales, and today machining these pieces, it would have been really nice to have them, but haven't got them yet. What'd Santa bring? Nothing. Not really. Here on my own today, which was kind of nice. I got up, had breakfast, and a shower, and had all intentions of getting these completely roughed out today. Hasn't happened. It didn't happen, so I've got to probably get into them this weekend. I don't know. I've really got to get on and finish boring the Stewart 400 engine, which we've got pretty well straight how we're going to do it. Just a matter of finding time. We might do a little bit tomorrow, but I doubt it. I was going to go and see a friend, or my friend who's got the milling machine, but I don't think we'll get a lot done, to be honest. It's probably... I'll look that up. Greg. But I think a new piece of 1214 for this would be good. Welcome to all my new subscribers. 5680, which is pretty cool. That's awesome. Thanks, guys. This bench looks like a bomb's hit it, and I really apologize for that. I've done a couple of, probably an hour every night this week, messing around, trying to work these out and just prototyping and stuff like that. Messing with the printer, trying to get some bits made, and no excuses. Excuses, how do they say? Excuses are just things that provide ways that things don't get done. So if you don't have them, well, things get done. But at this point, I haven't done much this week. That's going to change. I really want to get a new Stewart 400 video out by the end of the month, and that means the final video in the Kenneth Wells traction engine series is going to be out, and then the next one is we're starting into the Stewart 400. So those videos are both ready to go. It's just the new one on the Patreon series I haven't got to yet, and that's because the engine's set up on a friend's milling machine, waiting to get a boring bar put through it that's not going to flex and mess around. What did everyone else get for Christmas? Lots of good stuff, I hope. Behind 67, no. My bench, I hate it when it looks like this, and I just wasn't in the mood today to clean it up, which is a bit shocking, but my milling machine's just as bad. I've got a big pile of fluff over there from... I've just set these up on the stop and I've cut them out with a big side and face cutter. I was going to use this one, which is pretty aggressive. That's a staggered tooth cutter. This is a good cutter, this. Got a bit of angle on it too. It's really chews some metal off and it's a good cutter. However, if we sit this down in the vise, it looked like nothing was going, unless I prop this up, the vise jaws weren't going to clear the arbor, so I put a bigger one in to do that job. And I'll set them up at 10 degrees and this way and take a cut out of there. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that next or after I put the slots in them, because I've got to hold them to slot them this way, and it might be much easier to do that before I put this angle on here, I think. So just got to think about that. These would be nice cast. They'd be nice cast in bronze or gunmetal, they really would. However, they've still got to be machined and there's still a bit of work in them. So at this point, that's probably not going to happen. You could shell cast them and get them right the first time round, or pretty close. But there's more messing around making the shells and like internal core to pack in the sand and then doing it without it breaking and all that sort of stuff. There's a bit of messing around and cast them in bronze. Six terabyte drive, good stuff. Now you need a camera that'll take 4K video, Poppy. That'll be next. Glenlivet's got to be better than that Foster stuff you're drinking. That's straight out of the draft horse, just so you know. It's better than 4X, which is out of the Camel, but it's not much better. That's probably a bit harsh if you're Australian, but Foster's, no one drinks it in Australia, so we send it all overseas. Tool shop vouchers are good, Raymond. Yeah, don't you believe it, Poppy? 80 to 99% of the metal work is over when you cast. No, it's not. That's a myth. From experience, bitter experience, the bit of metal work that you got to do is 5 times harder than it was. So that's where we're at. Oh, nice, Chirpy. That's pretty cool. Tool grinder looks good. Really nice job, that. Really impressed with how that's coming together. Exciting to see. You making a press, Raymond? I've been eyeing off some collets on eBay, Netherlands. there's a quantity, or there was a quantity of Lorch A2 collets, 12.5mm collets on eBay Holland, which looked pretty good. You can't really tell, and there's a lot of stuff I'll probably never ever use. There was a collet based live center, which is probably better than the one I've got, and a short and a long drawbar. So there's a short drawbar for the tailstock, which I haven't got an A2 collet drawbar. I've got a tapered one. Oh, sorry, A2 collet. That made no sense. An A2 collet tailstock I don't have. So a lot of the bits were basically scrap metal, and I did have a short drawbar which I actually cut off and modified to go in my dividing head. But there was a few collets that I never had, and there's also a set of ring chucks, or external ring chucks, or disc chucks, wheel chucks, whatever you want to call them, which were collets that go inside a tapered mandrel to clamp down on bigger diameters. So they're really worth having. And a couple of you guys dug pretty deep this Christmas, and that was not expected, and it was pretty amazing. Actually, it was really nice to get an email saying, hey, look, you've got some money. So I've invested in those and haven't paid for them yet. They're still on eBay, but I've said I'll buy them, and I'm waiting for a quote for a postage, which is probably going to hurt. But anyway, so that was my Christmas present to me. And now I've just got to wait for work to pay me, and I can get out of debt with everyone else. So, and that should be me up to date, I hope. Anyway, Merry Christmas, y'all. Yeah, not from the deep south, but I'm sure some of you are. Mr. Pete's belt sander sounds like a good plan. That sounds good, Mark. Maddie's is looking pretty good. I've seen a couple being made here locally that look great. I'd like something a bit more aggressive. I've got a belt sander that's kind of not really, certainly you couldn't call it a belt grinder, but it's handy sometimes. Anyway, I guess all of you have got to get up and open presents and things and be sociable for the day. And the others who haven't have probably got a day off tomorrow, so you can watch the late movie and go to bed. New camera's great, Poppy. That's awesome. You're awake. Yeah, Merry Christmas to everyone. Thanks for all your support during the year. That's great. It's good to have you lot around. There's something in my ceiling, and I'm not really very happy about that, actually. First time I've ever noticed it. Could be just on the roof. It's a flat roof. I don't know if there's much room in the ceiling. But something's jumping around in there. It'll be a possum, I guess. So I have to do something about that tomorrow, maybe. I'm glad you got well fed, Maddie. Center of a donut. That's about what I got. No, I got spoilt, really. I really did, and you know who you are, you guys, and really appreciate that. I think that's a possum on the roof. What a pain. I don't think it's a possum in the roof because I don't think there's enough room between the sheet metal and the ceiling on this place to fit a possum. But I do think that probably, yeah, he's running around on the tin. Anyway, I'm probably going to call this a night. I was going to be all Christmassy and stuff, but by the time Christmas gets here, I'm really not in the mood. I work in retail and I really can take it or leave it. I've got a million video ideas for this year, and hopefully I'll get some good videos. I've been taking some video about these, and we will get a series about these and making them as we go. There will be some progress on the Stuart 400 before very long. And some other things that I've been messing with too, off and on, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. So that's where we're at. You have a great new year, and I'm gonna see you around. Say thanks to everyone again, and we'll see you next week and in the new year, and we might do something pretty cool next week. We'll see. We'll have to have a think about it. But I do have something planned that I can say thanks with, and that just hasn't happened yet. So keep the videos coming, everyone. Keep watching, keep liking and subscribing to everyone, and don't bother house cleaning YouTube and getting rid of subscriptions you don't watch or people who don't upload videos, because to be honest, YouTube doesn't care and it really doesn't make any difference to you. So leave it alone, leave them all there, and if someone uploads a video that's worth watching, well, maybe you'll see it in your subscription feed and watch it. Anyway, take care, be kind to each other, and more soon, guys and girls. I'm out.